Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Naomi. We have been on a journey on reading certain scriptures of the Bible that are interesting and that impact me. So over the last few days, I've been reflecting about our skills and abilities, talents, and all those names that describe things that we do very well. And I want us to consider some things in the Old Testament, some stories in the Old Testament, and see what God says about skills, talents, abilities, and giftings. So this will be part of a series of podcasts. I don't know how many there will be, how long they'll be. We'll just go as they flow and see where we go. So today we'll start with the story in Exodus chapter 28. Exodus chapter 28 is a description of the clothing that was supposed to be worn by the priests. The Israelites have come out of Egypt at this point. They are heading towards Canaan as God promised them. But before they get there, God gives them instructions on how to worship and is giving them instruction on how the tabernacle should be built and how the clothing of the priests should be. So today we will consider the clothing for the priests, which is found in Exodus chapter 28. I'll read the whole chapter because it talks about what we want to consider. I will read in the New Living Translation version. So it starts. Clothing for the priests, Exodus chapter 28. Call for your brother Aaron and his sons Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. This is Moses who's been told to do this. Set them apart for the rest of the people of Israel so they may minister to me and be my priests. Make sacred garments for Aaron that are glorious and beautiful. Instruct all the skilled craftsmen whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom. Have them make garments for Aaron that will distinguish him as a priest set apart for my service. These are the garments they are to make: a chest piece, an ephod, a robe, a patterned tunic, a turban, and a sash. They are to make these sacred garments for your brother Aaron and his sons to wear when they serve me as priests. So give them fine linen cloth, gold thread, and blue, purple, and scarlet thread. Design for the ephod. The craftsmen must make the ephod of finely woven linen and skillfully embroider it with gold and with blue, purple, and scarlet thread. It will consist of 2 pieces, front and back, joined at the shoulders with 2 shoulder pieces. The decorative sash will be made of the same materials: finely woven linen embroidered with gold and with blue, purple, and scarlet thread. Take 2 onyx stones and engrave them on the names of the tribes, and engrave on them the names of the tribes of Israel. 6 names will be on each stone, arranged in the order of the births of the original sons of Israel. Engrave these names on the 2 stones in the same way a jeweler engraves a seal. Then mount the stones in settings of gold filigree. Fasten the 2 stones on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as a reminder that Aaron represents the people of Israel. Aaron will carry these names on his shoulders as a constant reminder whenever he goes before the Lord. Make settings of gold filigree, then braid 2 cords of pure gold and attach them to the filigree settings on the shoulders of the ephod. Design of the chest piece. Then, with great skill and care, make a chest piece to be worn for seeking a decision from God. Make it to match the ephod. using finely woven linen embroidered with gold and with blue, purple, and scarlet thread. Make the chest piece of a single piece of cloth folded to form a pouch 9 inches square. Mount 4 rows of gemstones on it. The first row will contain a red carnelian, a pale green peridot, and an emerald. The second row will contain turquoise, a blue lapis lazuli, and a white moonstone. The third row will contain an orange jacinth, an agate, a pure purple amethyst. The fourth row will contain a blue-green beryl, an onyx, and a green jasper. All these stones will be set in gold filigree. Each stone will represent one of the 12 sons of Israel, and the name of that tribe will be engraved on it like a seal. To attach the chest piece to the ephod, make braided cords of pure gold thread. Then make 2 gold rings and attach them to the top corners of the chest piece. Tie the 2 gold cords to the 2 rings on the chest piece. Tie the other ends of the cords to the gold settings on the shoulder pieces of the ephod. Then make 2 more gold rings and attach them to the inside edges of the chest piece next to the ephod. And make 2 more gold rings and attach them to the front of the ephod. Below the shoulder pieces, just above the knot where the decorative sash is fastened to the ephod. Then attach the bottom rings of the chest piece to the rings on the ephod with blue cords. This will hold the chest piece securely to the ephod above the decorative sash. In this way, Aaron will carry the names of the tribes of Israel on the sacred chest piece over his heart when he goes into the holy place. This will be a continual reminder that he represents the people when he comes before the Lord. Insert the Urim and the Thummim into the sacred chest piece, so they will be carried over Aaron's heart when he goes into the Lord's presence. In this way, Aaron will always carry over his heart the objects used to determine the Lord's will for his people whenever he goes in before the Lord. Additional clothing for the priest. Make the robe that is worn with the ephod from a single piece of blue cloth, with an opening for Aaron's head in the middle of it. Reinforce the opening with a woven collar so it will not tear. Make pomegranates out of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and attach them to the hem of the robe, with gold bells between them. The gold bells and pomegranates are to alternate all around the hem. Aaron will wear this robe whenever he ministers before the Lord, and the bells will tinkle as he goes in and out of the Lord's presence in the holy place. If he wears it, he will not die. Next, make a medallion of pure gold and engrave it like a seal with these words, "Holy to the Lord." Attach the medallion with a blue cord to the front of Aaron's turban, where it must remain. Aaron must wear it on his forehead so he may take on himself any guilt of the people of Israel when they consecrate their sacred offerings. He must always wear it on his forehead so the Lord will accept his people. Weave Aaron's patterned tunic from fine linen cloth. Fashion the turban from this linen as well. Also, make a sash and decorate it with colorful embroidery. For Aaron's sons, make tunics, sashes, and special head coverings that are glorious and beautiful. Clothe your brother Aaron and his sons with these garments, and then anoint and ordain them. Consecrate them so they can serve as my priests. Also make linen undergarments for them to be worn next to their bodies, reaching from their hips to their thighs. These must be worn whenever Aaron and his sons enter the tabernacle or approach the altar in the holy place to perform their priestly duties. Then they will not incur guilt and die. This is a permanent law for Aaron and all his descendants after him. That is Exodus chapter 28 in the New Living Translation. Again, I said in this podcast we'll be reflecting on our talents and abilities with respect to what God thinks and what God says about these things. So we see in this passage God describing to Moses how Aaron's garments are to be made. He describes the different pieces and then goes into detail for the different pieces how they are to be made. And of interest is the way the chapter begins. It says, not the way it begins, at verse 15. Actually, let's start from verse 3. So that he's instructed to make sacred garments for Aaron. And God says, instruct all the skilled craftsmen whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom to have them make garments for Aaron that will distinguish him as a priest set apart for my service. So, we have craftsmen, and these craftsmen are filled with the spirit of wisdom. The spirit of wisdom is the one that gives them the skill to become skilled craftsmen. And these garments are for a purpose. Have them make garments for Aaron that will distinguish him as a priest set apart for my service. So, you're not just making random garments for nothing. The garments are glorious and beautiful, and the garments are to be worn by Aaron so that he will be distinguished as a priest set apart for God's service. The garment includes a chest piece, an ephod, a robe, and a patterned tunic, a turban, and a sash. These are the sacred garments that they are to make. The key here is that these garments are glorious and beautiful, and the people who are making these garments are filled with the spirit of wisdom. Now, in verse 6, the craftsman must make the ephod of finely woven linen and skillfully embroider it with gold, with blue, purple, and scarlet thread. Again, the garments are glorious, they are beautiful, and they are being made by a skillful person. We saw the crafting at the beginning, and here we have embroidery happening on the garment. And of course, we can see the material that is being used to make the garment is high quality, because it talks about finely woven linen and talks about skillfully embroidering it with gold and with blue, purple, and scarlet thread. Then there are stones that have engravings of the names of the Israelites on them. Engrave the names of this on the two stones in the same way a jeweler engraves a seal. Then mount these stones in settings of gold filigree. Then the two stones are to be fastened on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as a reminder that Aaron represents the people of Israel. In verse 15, it says, here we're talking about the chest piece. Then, with great skill and care, make a chest piece to be worn for seeking a decision from God. The key word there is with great skill and care. Not to be just done in any manner, but with great skill and care. Remember, the spirit of wisdom gives the skill. And it goes on to describe how the chest piece is to be made out of a single piece of cloth and then with 4 rows of gemstones on it. Good. Again, we see the rest of the garment being made. We have the robe that is worn with the ephod, made from a single piece of blue cloth. Take note of the detail that comes with the description of these garments and the instruction that is given and how it is prepared and for the purpose of which each part plays. We have the chest piece that has the gems of all the tribes. We have the shoulder pieces that have the names of the tribes of the Israelites on them. And here we see the additional clothing for the priests, and verse 31 onwards. It talks about the robe that is worn, and it is reinforced with a woven collar, so it will not tear, so it's meant to be long-lasting. And then it has pomegranates and bells at the bottom, so that whenever they're in the Holy of Holies, the bells tinkle, and they can know that the person who has gone into the Holy of Holies is still alive. Next is the medallion of pure gold, and it is engraved. And then Aaron must wear these things in different places of his body, and the tunic and everything else that he's wearing. In the end of this chapter, it finishes to say that these must be worn whenever Aaron and his sons enter the tabernacle or approach the altar in the holy place to perform their priestly duties. We'll stop there for now, and then we'll consider another story of something else that is being described as being made, and then we'll consider all these together. Bye.